Hi, welcome to the PrismERP technical demonstration. Today we are going to learn about routing in PrismERP. Routing is a part of production planning that defines how a product will be manufactured. It allows us to configure the bill of materials, production process steps, process pipelines, and manufacturing cost required to produce a finished product. To make it easier to understand, we will use a simple example throughout this session. Suppose we want to manufacture a ceramic plate. Before production can begin, we need to define the complete manufacturing process, what materials will be required, what production steps the product will go through, and what additional manufacturing cost will be involved. All of this configuration are managed through routing. In this session, we'll learn how to create a BOM template, configure production process steps and pipelines, create a bill of material, and manage BOMs in PrismERP. First, we are going to create a BOM template. From the manufacturing menu, navigate to planning, then routing, then add BOM template. A BOM template is used to define the standard manufacturing process for a specific product. It includes the required materials, production steps, and other production costs needed to manufacture that product. Instead of creating the same BOM repeatedly, we can create a template once and reuse it whenever similar products need to be manufactured. First, enter the name of the BOM template here. Enter the code number. Select the branch where this template will be available. I'm going to keep all. Now select the unit that will use this BOM template. Select the item for which this BOM template is being created. Choose the SMV type. SMV stands for standard minute value. It defines how production time will be measured for the product. If time per item is selected, the production time will be calculated for each individual item. Otherwise, it will be rate per hour. Enter the quantity. This is the quantity of finished products that will be produced. Select the unit of measurement. If there are any special production requirement or notes, enter them in the specification field. A description can also be added if required. For demonstration purpose, I'm going to skip this. Now we have other cost section. This section is used to include additional production costs that are not part of the raw materials. For our ceramic plate example, besides raw materials, we also need to consider costs such as electricity for running the machine, fuel used in the kiln during firing, and machine maintenance. These costs are known as overhead costs and are included here, so the system can calculate the total manufacturing cost more accurately. If the record overhead cost is not already available, click the plus icon beside here. This will open the add new overhead cost page. Enter the head, which is the cost name. Now select the account type, choose expense for regular production expense or liability if the amount represents a payable obligation. Select the account. Select the calculation type. If percent is selected, the overall cost will be calculated as a percentage. If fixed is selected, the same amount will be added every time the BOM is used. If per quantity is selected, the cost will be calculated based on the production quantity. After entering the record information, click Save. Now I'm going to add overhead cost from here. Fix the calculation type here. As this is fixed, I'm going to make the calculation type fixed. We have added multiple overhead costs. All the BM information and other costs have been entered. Now click Save. We have created the new BOM template. This is the BOM template list. From here, we can activate or deactivate the BOM template according to our requirement. We can also use the search panel to find out a specific template. Now that we have created the BOM template for our ceramic plate, the next step is to define how this product will be manufactured. Every product goes through a series of manufacturing stages before it becomes a finished product. These stages are called production process step. For our ceramic plate, the manufacturing process would include multiple steps. By defining the steps, we are telling the system the complete manufacturing flow of the product. To add a process step, click on this plus icon here. From here, select the process. Click Next. This opens the Add New Process steps. In this example, we will first select the powder preparation because this is the first stage in manufacturing the ceramic plate. We have already configured process and branch. If this is the final production stage, enable the last step option. If this step requires a specific register machine, select the machine from here. I am going to skip this. Then enter the rank. The rank determines the sequence of the production process. Since powder preparation is the first stage, we will assign rank 1. After creating the production step, the next step is to tell the system what happens during the stage. This is done using production event. Production event defines whether a material is being consumed, produced or recycled during a specific production step. Select the event here. Consumption is used for materials that will be used during the production process. Production is used for the product produced after completing the process, and recycle is used for materials that are recovered and can be reused. Next, select the product or item. For example, clay is used to prepare powder mix, so I'm going to select clay here. The unit of measurement has automatically appeared. Now enter the required quantity and unit cost. Click on Add Row. After adding the product, a few additional options are available here. WIP stands for work in progress. If ES is selected, the item will be treated as a work in progress item. This is actually useful for semi-finished products that will go through more production steps before becoming the final product. Next is calculate in BOM. If ES is selected, the cost and quantity of this item will be included when calculating the total BOM cost. If no is selected, the item will not be considered during the BOM final calculation. Finally, we have calculate price. If we select yes, the system will use this item's price while calculating the production cost. All the information has been entered. Now click Save. As we can see, the first production step has now been added successfully. For our ceramic plate, we will now add the remaining steps. Click on this plus icon here. Select the step, click Next. Select the event. Select the product. Click Add Row. Calculate in BM, I am selecting yes, and then click Save. I'm going to add the third step now. Click on this plus icon here. Choose the third step. Click Next. Select the event. Select the product again. Click Save. This is time for the fourth stage. Select the product again. Now I'm going to add the final stage. As we can see, this is the final step. The rank is 5. If this step is dependent on any other step, then we can select the dependent step here. We can also enter joins, breaks and reason if applicable. I'm going to skip this. Click save. The production process steps have now been added. From the BOM template details page, we can further configure the workflow by defining the process step pipeline. Let's configure the process step pipeline. While the production process steps define the major stages of the manufacturing, the process steps pipeline defines the activities that takes place within each step. We can add steps from here. In this example, we have to issue. This indicates that the raw material will be issued from the warehouse before this production steps begins. Next is consumption. This records the materials that are actually consumed during the production process. And finally, we have production. This records the output produced after completing the step. Since production is the last activity in this process, this is set as final. We can also add more event to the steps too from here. From this drop down, we can select more steps if required. The same pipeline can be added for the remaining production steps as required. Now let's look at a few more options available on the BOM template details page. First, click on this calculate cost page. This calculates the estimated manufacturing cost of the BOM template based on the configured raw materials and overhead cost. If any information needs to be updated, we can update it from here by clicking on this edit template option. Once the BOM template has been finalized and approved, we can lock this template. Locking the template prevents anyone from making further changes, ensuring that the approved production process remains the same during manufacturing. Now that we have defined how the ceramic plate will be manufactured in the BOM template, the next step is to create the actual bill of materials or BOM. From the manufacturing menu, go to planning, then routing, then add BOM. The BOM uses the template we have just created and serves as the complete manufacturing recipe that will be used during production. Actually, BOM is a complete list of everything required to manufacture a product. It includes the production quantity, materials, process configuration, specification, and other production cost. From here, select the BOM template. We will select the template that we just created. Once selected, the system automatically loads the production steps, material, and other configuration from the template. From here, select the product. Enter the SMV if required. Enter the quantity if change. We can also enter a specification and a description if needed. I'm going to skip this field for now. We can also attach supporting documents such as product drawings, technical specification, or manufacturing instructions using the attachment field. Here we have the other cost section. The overhead cost configured in the BOM template are automatically available. Simply enter the record amount if needed. All the information has been entered. Now click save. We have created a new BOM. This is the BOM list. From here, we can change the status to accept it. We can also reject it if needed. This is the BOM details page. Here you can view all the details associated with it. We can also calculate cost to recalculate the manufacturing cost whenever material prices or overhead costs are updated. We can also add production steps. The report option allows us to review or download BOM related reports in different formats. If supporting documents such as product drawings or technical specification have been attached, they can be viewed from this attachment option. From here, we can manage the attachments. We can also preview the report from here. This is the total report. So that's it for routing in PrismERP. In this session, we learned how to create a BOM template, configure production process steps, production events, and process pipelines, create a bill of materials, and calculate the overall manufacturing cost of a product. Thanks for watching. We hope this helps. Bye.